Title: The Balancing Act. How Effective Leaders Understand and Apply Fairness. Introduction. In the realm of leadership and management, understanding and applying the principle of fairness is paramount. Leaders are often expected to make decisions that balance the interests of all stakeholders involved, while also fostering an environment of equity and impartiality. However, the application of fairness in leadership is not as straightforward as it may initially appear. Leaders must discern when to uphold fairness and when flexibility might be necessary to ensure overall organizational effectiveness and harmony. This intricate balance is often a litmus test of a leader's ability to navigate complex human dynamics and the intricate interplay of personal and organizational motivations. Understanding fairness in leadership. Fairness, in the context of leadership, often involves the equitable treatment of all team members and decision-making that does not favor any particular individual or group. Theoretically, leaders are expected to uphold the principle of fairness in their actions and decisions, thereby cultivating trust and fostering an environment of respect and collaboration. In this context, it is essential to understand the theories of management psychology and motivation. The equity theory, for instance, posits that employees strive for fairness in their workplace interactions and tend to compare their input effort, skill, adaptation, flexibility with their output salary, benefits, and tangible rewards. When perceived fairness is disrupted, employees can feel demotivated, leading to decreased productivity and engagement. The complexity of fairness. However, as the initial passage suggests, the application of fairness in leadership is complex and context-dependent. A leader's actions, perceived as fair in one situation, might be considered unfair in another. This complexity is often due to varying perceptions of fairness among different stakeholders and the impact of wider socio-economic factors. Let's consider the example provided in the passage: the decision of a leader during a medical device shortage. In an ideal world, the fair decision would be to distribute the available resources equally. However, the fairness perception could vary based on the stakeholder's perspective and the broader societal context. This scenario illustrates that fairness can be subjective and context-dependent, necessitating leaders to possess a nuanced understanding of the dynamics at play and the capability to make difficult decisions when required. Negative and positive psychology in leadership. Understanding the concept of fairness in leadership also requires insight into both positive and negative psychology. Positive psychology focuses on enhancing individual and group strengths, encouraging an optimistic perspective, and fostering a positive working environment. On the other hand, negative psychology, often associated with conflict, failures, and biases, is equally crucial to comprehend and navigate effectively. Both elements play a role in leadership. Leaders must be adept at leveraging positive psychology to inspire and motivate their teams, recognizing individual and collective strengths, and fostering a sense of shared purpose. At the same time, they must also be cognizant of the potential for negative dynamics, such as conflict, bias, and failure, and develop strategies to address these when they arise. Fairness, conflict, and negotiation. In leadership roles, conflict is often inevitable. Diverse perspectives, competing interests, and differences in individual motivations can lead to disagreements and disputes within a team or organization. It is during these moments of conflict that a leader's understanding of fairness is put to the test. Leaders must navigate these conflicts strategically, ensuring that their actions and decisions are perceived as fair by all parties involved. This is where the art of negotiation comes in. In high-stakes negotiations, for instance, a leader must balance opposing interests, striving for an outcome that all parties view as fair and acceptable. This requires exceptional interpersonal skills, the ability to empathize with different perspectives, and a deep understanding of the motivations and interests of all parties involved. The role of bias in leadership. In addition to conflict and negotiation, leaders also have to navigate the subtle yet significant issue of bias. Bias can manifest in various ways, from physical cues to similarities with interviewers or groups, and it can significantly influence leaders' decisions and actions. For example, the halo effect, a cognitive bias where the perception of one quality influence is the perception of another, can lead to unfair treatment during the interview process. Leaders might favor candidates who share similar backgrounds or interests, leading to a lack of diversity and inclusivity within the team. It is crucial for leaders to be aware of such biases and strive to minimize their impact on decision-making. Fairness in team management. In high-performance team management, leaders must demonstrate fairness while also inspiring and motivating their team. This involves recognizing individual skills and aptitudes, offering opportunities for professional development, and investing in employee training programs. For instance, addressing the technology skills gap in industries like information technology is a pressing concern in countries like the US and Canada. Leaders in these industries must be proactive in identifying and addressing such gaps within their teams, providing training and development opportunities to equip their employees with the necessary skills. Conclusion. In conclusion, the principle of fairness in leadership extends beyond the simplistic notion of treating everyone equally. It encompasses a nuanced understanding of human motivation, the dynamics of positive and negative psychology, conflict resolution, negotiation, and bias, among other things. Leaders must strike a balance between upholding fairness and making tough decisions that might challenge this principle, always considering the broader context and the diverse perspectives of all stakeholders involved. The ability to navigate this delicate balance ultimately distinguishes effective leaders from the rest.